How's it going, everyone? In today's video, I'm going to go ahead and share with you my essential accessories that I've added on my 6-month ownership experience with the latest generation Tesla Model Y. Because just like my other vehicles, like my Raptor, as well as my Blackwing, stay tuned for that accessory video, I've always done accessory videos that I buy out of pocket, trying to perfect the car, making it more convenient for everybody else. I put it all in a single video like this, and I give you my recommended accessories and the accessories you should avoid completely based off of my experience. So of course, timestamps to everything will be in the video description down below, as well as a link to those accessories in the description, all for your convenience. Let's get started. So to quickly summarize everything, the first #1 accessory is some kind of PPF protection film. Not those weird leather ones that we've seen in the past. Those usually would scratch up your paint, stuff like that. PPF. I like to save a lot of money, so I like to buy these pre-cut kits and just do the installation myself. Although it's not the prettiest, I do want to say I am improving each and every time I install a PPF, but this is my front fascia PPF, and to a Tesla like this, since there's no grill or anything like that, it's just paint, I highly recommend installing PPF. And this kit, it also includes the lights as well, so the light bar is also protected, as well as the headlight on the bumper, and it even has a nice little cutout around the recovery hook right here. Another must accessory that a lot of people overlook is the mesh grill protection filter down here. You see, if you ever notice whenever the AC kicks on or you're preconditioning the battery, this down here, this only grill acts like a vacuum. It literally sucks in everything. So all these stuff that you see right now on my filter, that stuff usually ends up inside the radiator, which can cost around $300 to $500 to clean. And typically like once every 3 to 5 years, it's recommended to clean that up. And it's a pain in the butt to get in there and actually clean that radiator. So to give your vehicle the maximum efficiency, as well as save yourself from spending $500 in cleaning that internal radiator, just get one of these $40 little filters. I think they add like a nice little style because it doesn't look that bad when it's installed, that honeycomb shape. But these are definitely an essential in my opinion. Now moving on to the side profile of the vehicle, and you may have noticed I swapped my wheels cover because these are those 19-inch wheels, and they're supposedly the most efficient wheels that Tesla has for the Model Y, and I agree. I do get comfortably 300-mile range even while driving joyfully under a single charge, thanks to those rims right there. But I recently swapped them out with these wheels, and these are just under $200, and I gotta say they definitely change up the look of the car. But aside from aesthetics, they actually add some nice functionality. You see, if you're somebody who's known to always cause your rims to get scratches, rim scratches, or wheel rash, this adds like a nice little protection around the outer rim. So nothing is exposed. These fully cover your wheel, and I highly recommend them. They're inexpensive, they look great, and I haven't noticed a decrease in range either. They're surprisingly aerodynamic. Honestly, I think it's just due to the fact that the 19-inch wheels are light. I think that's where the range improvement is seen comparing against the 20s. There was a back order delay though. It took me like about a month for mine to arrive, but it's definitely worth the wait in my opinion. Now I have owned a Model Y in the past. I used to own a Model Y Performance, and one of my most favorite mods I'll do is buy mirror caps, because the PPF, installing PPF on the mirrors is such a pain in the butt. So I bought some, and here's a lesson learned. Do not buy these plastic ones. Buy the actual real carbon fiber one, because if we look in the back here, it doesn't fully wrap around the paint. So unless you have a black Tesla already, if you get one of these plastic mirror caps, they don't fully wrap around the paint, so you still see some paint right there. It just doesn't look good, which is why I haven't installed it. So because of that, I do not recommend these plastic ones. Go with the carbon fiber ones. The one I recently ordered and ordered in the past because they actually wrap around properly is the one from RPM Tesla. I have them linked in the description down below. I always had good results with them, so I bought this, as well as caps for the hardware for side covers for the camera. I personally prefer this because it's hard to protect this paint. I'd rather just cover it up, but don't buy these plastic ones, they suck. But one that is an essential unless you PPF the side portion of your vehicle is mud flaps. If you don't install mud flaps, even with that little stupid PPF that sometimes Tesla installs for free on the corner panel right there with the passenger door, it doesn't do anything. Rocks will easily start chipping your paint and stuff like that, all because the vehicle is just so aerodynamic. Because of that, these tires will just kick a bunch of dirt, debris, rocks, and over time will cause your paint to chip. These mud flaps that I picked up on Amazon, very inexpensive, easy to install. Just install in the front. rears aren't necessary. You don't need to protect other vehicles or behind you because they're likely to not have mud flap, which is why I only rock mud flaps on the front. But this is an essential accessory if you really care about the paint of your vehicle. So I highly recommend picking up mud flaps for your Tesla. Now in the back here, another accessory I recommend, well, actually this is optional. It's just cosmetics. It's a decal. Notice I removed the Tesla emblem. I did that personally. I like this less it's more design. I just don't like logos. I may remove the dual motor as well in the near future. But I have this decal that I picked up from an independent content creator here on YouTube. I'll have their store link in the description down below, but this literally just wraps on the existing one and just covers up. Give your Tesla a different look than everybody else. They also make this in real carbon fiber as well. RPM Tesla also has the real carbon fiber version. I may consider swapping that one with the matte one, but as of right now, I'm rocking this and I love it. Now opening up the rear, let's see if this auto rear opening does anything. Oh, there we go, it's registering. And it canceled. It's quicker if I just do this. I'm going to disable that. But another accessory back here that I do have is these little LED strips that goes around. It's so much brighter than the one that you have up here. And it's not even worth upgrading that because this costs about the same and gives you a lot more lightage. But I don't strongly recommend it because it's supposed to have a sensor where it's just supposed to turn on and off. But there has been time when the trunk actually closed and the LED light still is on, which is why I manually prefer enabling it by hand. And it connects with the 12-volt outlet back here. So this is pretty cool. Not essential accessory because it doesn't work as advertised, but when you manually have it enabled to turn on and off, it actually works really well. I really do like this accessory. I'll have a link in the description down below. But back here, I also have this Spigen little handy cover right here. It's held together with Velcro, and in here will hold my J2771 adapter. I believe that's the name. I like having this thing in here because it's handy, it's convenient, it's right here on the side, and I can just put it in here and it stays. So I do like that capability, the convenience of just having that adapter right there on hand. Another thing I have is I didn't go all out and spend like $300, $200 on a cargo mat cover. I just got this plastic one from Amazon for like 40 bucks. It gets the job done, prevents things from sliding back here. And yeah, it also folds so nicely that I can still use this bottom compartment if I need to. Originally, the Model Y has openings for both the right and, well, that is the right side, and the left side. Having these little dividers right here prevents garbage from just falling in here, but I can actually use these more as like good storage compartments for like emergency stuff like these inflation kits for the tires, as well as this is where I keep the DC fast charger port as well. These are really cool because it just separates everything. They're tubs. This is the first party from Tesla, but now there's like some third parties, which is basically a one-on-one copy. And you have like a little surface right here you can cover up, so this way stuff don't easily fall in. So I highly recommend these little tubby corner thingies. And then the way I utilize my storage compartment, because this other one, it's kind of harder to get to. But in here I have like my emergency kit, as well as duct tape, Tesla inflation kit for your tire, wheel locks, which I do recommend, and other safety things like these little hockey puck thingies, which is supposed to go underneath the Tesla so you could jack it safely without destroying your battery. I do recommend picking up a set of these whenever you have to do maintenance on the side of the road or if something happens. You at least can jack up your car safely. Now, in some of my past videos, a lot of people have been asking me questions on how I'm able to have this RGB welcoming light effect on my Tesla. Well, this is all thanks to this third-party accessory, which goes inside this little panel right here. Hold on, let me get in frame. It goes in here. It's super easy to install. It takes about 15 minutes to do. You just remove this little panel and it simply just plugs and play. So with that Commander modular installed right there, this is how the app looks like, and gives me access to a bunch of data that Tesla wouldn't even give me access to. I could do silent lock the vehicle, so I could lock the car without doing that sharp thing. I also disabled my regen braking to 0. If I actually want to use my brake pedals, I have that freedom to do so. Because on a control, you can only adjust the sensitivity, you can't turn it off completely. And if you buy like those smart buttons, you could program like external buttons to do other shortcuts as well, like some of these you see up here. But if we connect to the Commander right here, we have the ability to adjust some of the autopilot features. So if you don't have full self-driving, by activating this continuous autopilot. If I enable the turn signal, it will disable my autopilot, of course. But then once I change lanes and I let go of this and I disable the turn signal, it will automatically re-enable autopilot without me having to physically press on the little button for autopilot. It gives you abilities like this. Other cool things you could do is enable passenger easy entry. So I have my passenger seat set to my spouse, so whenever she gets in, it will automatically go into easy entry and exit mode. And then when she puts her seatbelt on, it will go to her fixed save seating position, all from right here. So basically it allows you to have like save profiles for the passenger seat, something you see on luxury vehicles. You can enable it with this little modular device. And then down here, another cool thing you can do is the ambient lighting effects. So written here, I could have it so it automatically enables between different modes that I have enabled. I also have it enabled so it will actually indicate if somebody's in my blind spot, it'll turn orange. And then greeting animation is what you saw earlier, where it was just switching between RGB lights once the door is open. And when all the doors are closed, it will go back to the default RGB light setting you last left it. So this is really cool because it just gives you access to a bunch of cool stuff. It even gives you access to more data. So yeah, really cool thing that just connects right there. Highly recommend. Another thing I changed here is the Alcantara texture. This is optional, it's cosmetic. I just got it because I had enough credits. But yeah, I actually had it from the traditional like texture one, which is based off of this texture. It used to be right here. I swapped it for the Alcantara to give it a more better matching design, especially with the wireless charger. But other accessories you may see I actually have the official Tesla mats for all seats, including the center row. So you can kind of see right there. I normally never went with the first party due to the fact I always had terrible experience with Tesla. But the reason why I got this one, because they actually redesigned it because the dead pedal actually matches the accelerator pedal as well. And it's actually made of aluminum, not plastic, including the little Tesla badge. So the fact they improved the quality, and I had it for almost 6 months now on this vehicle, it's held together with Velcro, rarely moves around. I highly recommend the official party. Tesla actually improved the quality control when it comes to their little weather mats. Another thing I changed when swapped out was the plastic on the pedals. I swapped them with the performance ones. Very cheap, inexpensive to do. But inside the driver's seat, I really haven't done much other than have this like low-key like cell phone mount in case I do need it for long road trips. I rarely use it, but there are times I do have Apple Maps running in the background, and I simply just mount my phone there. And then once I'm done, I don't want to see it, I just tuck this away and then goes back in its place. Super cool, very nifty. And then underneath the screen, I have this hidden compartment which allows me to store more stuff. So right now I have my remote clicker, my headphones, and it simply just snaps into place. It's held together magnetically. I've been using this for quite a while now. I highly recommend this because all the other ones, it's obvious there's something here, but I prefer this stealth route where nobody can see there's something underneath the screen. There's also built-in foam, so there's no rattle noise when you're on highway speed. Very nice. And then on the side doors, I don't like how hard it is to clean this material whenever dirt or debris gets in there. So I just installed these little plastic things. They're on all doors, as you see, including the back seats. And then I do have a radar detector, which I have wired right here. And this cable just goes all the way down here and goes to the cigarette lighter that's right here. The reason I did this method, I don't want to slice any wires or damage anything. I think going with the long 12-volt cable and just connecting it right there is your best route if you're not an expert in hard wiring, nor do you want to void your warranty. Another thing I have here is the cup holders. I do have this little plastic thing. I highly recommend these because there's a bunch of liquids and dirt and stuff will over time just get in there. You can kind of see it there because I did install this like later on down the line, but this thing has been super helpful in terms of keeping the cup holder section clean. Highly recommend one of these. And then down here I did 3D printed one of these, this small half one. I think the half ones are the best because it still gives me full access to this without having to remove this whole entire thing, but nothing crazy in here, just that. And this one, I did get first party from Tesla. It's a little tray. They could like slide in and slide out. But I kind of regret it because these things are really expensive. And I think Spigen's better because there actually is a hole right here, which allows you to actually run some wires through it, including this one. So I have my recommendation right in the description as well. And then down here, I 3D printed like a trash tray where I could just throw trash in there. Have that file in the description if you have access to a 3D printer as well. But in case you notice, I don't have a screen protector on this. I don't know why people recommend screen protector on these. Maybe the matte one makes sense, but from my experience, my windows are always tinted. I rarely have any glare from the screen, and I don't need a screen protector because this is glass. But if you have kids or something like that throwing stuff, I could see why a screen protector will be protected, but I don't have any kids. I don't have a screen protector. This is glass. No way this is gonna get scratched up by my fingernails unless you have really sharp nails, but we don't. The missus doesn't have sharp nails either. So no screen protector for me, but I guess it's optional. But I've been having good luck without a screen protector ever since I've done my first Model Y as well as my Model S. Never had a scratch on this display. But this cover that you see on my glass, that is something I highly recommend. Even though the new Model Y has like some type of coating that prevents heat UV rays to make it inside the interior of the vehicle, it gets really hot. It still is a glass house. I highly recommend picking up one of these things. They're inexpensive. They're $20 and it matches the headliner just fine, as you see right here. Highly recommend that little cover for your glass roof. But now let's talk about the window tint. So I have 15% in the front, right? And I think that's a little bit too much. I kind of wish I went with 30% or so, because at night, if you roll into a neighborhood that has no street light, I have to roll down my windows. Now, the back windows, I went 5%. These are perfect. These are perfectly fine. Again, Xpel or whatever the name is. This is their highest ceramic tint, and it does an excellent job on preventing like the heat waves from going inside the interior and cooking up the interior. I think it's a must paying the most expensive one from Xpel just to prevent like the interior cabin from getting really hot. I also have 5% here. Now, this is where I wish I changed things differently, because I also got 5% here and I can't see anything from this already very small rear glass window from my rear view mirror. So if I had the chance to redo everything, I probably would have got like 30% back here, because the rear glass, including this glass right here, already comes pre-installed with Tesla factory tint. I believe it's like 25% or something like that, or 35% of existing tint. I have the correct number on the screen. Then I applied another 15%, and then using like a little tint tool, I realized that I actually got 2% or 3% tint on the back. So these rear glass is darker than 5% back here. Again, if I could redo something, I'll probably go for a 30% tint over here on the existing 35% tint, so I can at least have some visibility from that rear glass. So now I have to rely on my side mirrors more as my rear view mirror. I'm used to always having tow mirrors whenever I'm holding something in my truck, so that wasn't really much of a deal breaker, but if I could go back in time, I would have got something else. So a little warning, don't do 5% tint on the rear glass unless you're okay knowing that you're gonna block your visibility from the rear. But there we have it. Those are all the accessories I have on my Model Y Juniper. And those are the accessories that work for me. Those are the ones I recommend for others to choose, and some advice I also have for everybody else in case you are wondering what's the best tint for you. But there you guys have it. That's the quick summary of all the accessories I have on my Tesla, and hopefully answer some questions that many of you have been asking in the comment section from my recent Model Y review video. So if you haven't yet watched that video, I do my 1 month ownership experience over there, where I cover my insurance costs, how much it costs me to charge at home, and so much more in that video over there. Thank you so much for watching.